Welcome to One Life Truth Love. This is the Mechanics of Life series, and we're here for genuine aspirants to truly know thyself. And that's beyond information consumption and ongoing practice in an attempt to get something, to get somewhere. Rather, we're here to finally live in embodied oneness, tangible fulfillment, and the peace that is the promise. This is the fifth video in our series. And you can find articles that take these videos even deeper on the website, www.onelifetruthlove.com. So today, let's get into it. There's one thing you cannot deny or even debate, and I'm not talking about your thoughts. You can absolutely debate and doubt those, not even your beliefs. You can and actually need to question those, not your perceptions. You can wonder if they're even accurate or real. I'm talking about the one thing that is absolutely undeniably true in this moment. And when you recognize what that is, when you see and experience it directly, everything changes. Not because you've achieved something, but because you've recognized what you actually are right here and right now. So today we're going to dive into the three undeniable recognitions. These are not beliefs. These are not concepts. These are not theology or theory. These are undeniable immediate facts in your present experience that you've most likely ignored. They've taken a back seat. And when you do see them directly, when you verify them for yourself, you'll see and recognize what you actually are. So we're told we must know thyself in order to live aright. I can promise you it's not meant to be a lifelong challenge to do that and the palaver that most make it. So let's demystify reality's infinite nature. You're aware right now in this moment. You are aware, aren't you? Not aware of something specific, but the awareness that rests behind and contains, if you will, what you're aware of. Just this fundamental, open, pure awareness. It's here without you trying to make it so. You couldn't shake it or outrun it, even if you wanted to. Try if you like, don't take my word for it. Beloved, you've always had the keys to the kingdom of heaven. No one can take them away from you. So now notice this awareness, this conscious, inevitable presence. Can you deny this? No, you can't. Not even if you tried to deny it. You'd be aware of the denial. Awareness is undeniable. What else can we notice? This awareness is what you are. Again, notice this awareness you can't deny. That's just here like an easy, effortless background containing everything. Is it something you possess? Is there you and this? Can it be divided or separated from you? Or is it indivisible? If it can't be divided, it must be what you are. Look. And you can't help but see. You don't have awareness, you are awareness. It's not something you acquired, it's not something you can lose. It's the very fact of your existence. Before you think, you are aware. Before you perceive, you are aware. Before anything seems to appear in awareness, you are already aware. Awareness is not a quality that you have that's bound up or contained in some teeny organ somewhere in what you call your body, which is why it hasn't been found isolated somewhere. Because it's what you actually are. You are that which is looking, and what's looking can't see itself. So now let's explore this awareness and notice it's infinite. This awareness, is it limited? Is it confined to your body, or is your body something you're also aware of? Does this awareness have any edges? Does it begin or end anywhere you can locate? Is it bound by anything? Time, for example? No. Your body appears within awareness. Your thoughts appear within awareness. Time itself appears within awareness. But awareness itself is not contained in or by any of these. It has no boundaries, no beginning, no end. It is infinite, eternal, omnipresent. There's nowhere awareness is not. So these three recognitions are undeniable. And when you see them directly, you recognize what you actually are. Mystery solved. And recognition is the first step of genuine awakening to what I really am and already am. Ignition is the first essential step of the choiceless choice that opens the door of acceptance. Most think recognition is what happens after a lengthy journey in time studying and researching, but that's not true. It's wrong. And it's why most remain just knowing about the truth, but remain experiencing separation. Recognition is the beginning, the essential first step. That is the absolute declaration that I am found. So why does this matter? You might be thinking, okay, I'm aware. So what? That's old news. You might have known about this for a while, but here's why this matters. If you are infinite, eternal awareness, not a separate person, not a body, not a mind, then everything you've believed about yourself is mistaken, and there's a deeper truth. You're not limited. You're not lacking. You're not incomplete. You're not trying to survive. You're not trying to become something. You're not trying to reach God. These are all impossible, actually, a detour from reality. You are, in fact, awareness, and you're invited to and required to verify this for yourself. You are infinite consciousness, aware, which is why awareness, which is so intimate and natural, is never questioned, actually entirely overlooked. And this is why life seems to go pear-shaped. And when you recognize this, when you see it directly, your entire experience shifts. Not because circumstances change, but because you stop identifying with what appears and recognize what you actually are. So let's shine the light on how this works and take some examples here. Let's look at fear. When you identify as a separate person, fear is a problem. It's something happening to you, unavoidable seemingly, and you never quite know when it's going to strike. It's definitely seen as something you need to solve or overcome, perhaps just manage. But when you recognize you are infinite awareness, fear is simply an appearance within awareness. It's not happening to you. It's appearing within what you are. And what you are is infinite eternal awareness, untouched by what appears within it. The fear doesn't necessarily disappear permanently at first, but the identification with it does. And that changes everything. Now let's look at something else that's very common, lack. When you identify as a separate person, lack is real. You don't have enough something. Fill in the blank. You need to get more of that something. And the lack is seen as the problem. the hole or the gap to fill in order to feel happy, which we know is all temporary in the framework of lack. We're just back at it again in the very near future when the feeling of achievement has worn off. But when you recognize you are infinite consciousness, lack isn't even possible. It's impossible because infinite consciousness is infinite supply, self-effulgent, not potentially, but actually. The appearance of lack may arise until it can't be seen anymore, but you're no longer operating from scarcity. You're operating from the recognition of infinite sufficiency. And that changes how you function, how you act, how you experience, and what becomes possible. This is why recognition matters, not as a philosophy, but as the shift that transforms your entire experience of life. So how can you verify this for yourself? Because I'm saying don't believe me. We can't be interested in peddling beliefs a moment longer if we're called to the highest. Beliefs are the terrain of those mired in the ignorance of misidentification, and they don't satisfy. So you can verify this for yourself right now. Here's how. Notice you're aware. You don't have to think about it, just notice. You're aware right now. Noticing. It's already happening, always, effortlessly, peacefully. This noticing is only disturbed when you get caught up in something to notice rather than the pure, sweet recognition as awareness itself. Notice what awareness is. Is it personal? Does it belong to you as a separate individual? Or is it simply what you are? Notice that awareness has no boundaries. What you call your body appears within awareness. Your thoughts appear within awareness. The room you're in appears within awareness. But awareness itself, it's not contained by any of these. It's infinite. Recognize what this means. If you are infinite awareness, not a body, not a person, not a separate self, then you're not limited by anything that appears within awareness. You are not subject to disease, decay, death. You're not bound by lack, scarcity, insufficiency. You're not separate from others, from the world, from God. You are infinite, eternal, perfect consciousness, expressing as this unique individuality. This is not a belief. It's well before belief even seems to appear. This is immediate, undeniable present fact, and you're invited to verify it for yourself, and that changes everything. Pause, recognize what's at the back of experience. What allows you to be aware of anything at all? The assumption that the answer is me person makes that possible is the greatest illusion there has ever been, and the only reason there seems to be any experience of something less than absolute peace and harmony, happiness, and infinite experiential abundance. And this is why we're here revisiting that ancient directive to know thy true self, so you can finally and actually live in the permanency of reality's perfection, the only thing actually happening. So what you just experienced and what we're speaking to here is the direct recognition of what you actually are, not what you've assumed you are. And it's this recognition that's always available, not in the future, not after you've practiced enough, but right now, that changes everything. And if you want to deepen this recognition, if this is pointing precisely where you want to be, and if you want to skip the queue, overcome all the mistakes most make, and get live support and guidance, you're invited to join the One Life Truth Love Immersion program. You'll find more details at onelifetruithlove.com. And in the book, The Mechanics of Life, The Mechanics of A Course in Miracles, and The Mechanics of Vision, for the complete discovery and how to live from this recognition. The next video is on Friday, and we'll be addressing one of the most misunderstood insights about enlightenment there has ever been, to dissolve the drama completely. I'm talking about the death of the self. Why you don't need to fear awakening, and in fact, will leap headfirst in the face of the facts. We're going to address the biggest obstacle that stops spiritual seekers. So subscribe, watch, recognize. Heaven is here, beloved. Don't settle for anything less.